All right, guys, welcome to PFL Media Day for the heavyweights and women's featherweights and our special showcase bout, Biaggio. If you have questions for Biaggio, please raise your hand. Let's get started with Anik, please.
Biaggio, Anik Subramanian, Fightbook MMA. I met you at the championships last year, so it's really nice to see you again. I have two questions for you. You used to be a star running back in football. Did any of the techniques that you used in football translate into your MMA skills? And if so, which particular moves were influenced by your football?
Yeah, I think, as a running back, I had to do a lot of agility drills, ladder drills, footwork stuff. So I think a lot of that transferred over in terms of footwork. Footwork is very important when it comes to striking, when it comes to wrestling, being able to shoot for doubles or singles. I would definitely say footwork for sure.
Awesome. And one more for me. Combat sports runs in your family. What makes you more nervous, your own fights or watching your brother Nico fight?
My own fights, I think. I'm very confident in Nico. Nico's been boxing since he was 15 years old, and he's only getting better and better and better. So when I watch Nico, I'm very confident in him. It's usually my fights that I get more nervous for.
Gotcha. Sounds good. And looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you. You too.
Dave.
Dave. Oh, hey guys. Dave here with Fight Bananas. My man, they just talked about it. Heavyweights and female featherweights, but you're the showcase fight. How great is that the PFL puts such a spotlight on yourself, especially for you to be the showcase fight?
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to me because I can't really convey in words just how grateful and blessed I really am. Just for them to give me this opportunity, for them to put the lights on my fight at home in Vegas. It truly is a blessing, and I thank God every single day, multiple times a day, and it's awesome. I'm gonna take full advantage of that and come out with a win.
That's beautiful, man. Great to hear that. Last thing for you. What is a perfect 2023 campaign for you? How many fights, close stoppages? Would you want to go 15 minutes in a fight to kind of go that level and test it? What's a perfect 2023 for you, my man?
Perfect 2023 for me is all wins. I want to get 3 or 4 wins this year, see if I'm ready to go pro, sit down, talk to my coaches when the time comes. And 15 minutes in a fight. I obviously haven't done that yet because I'm not pro yet, but I do know sparring. I usually do 5 minutes a round, but obviously sparring is not the same as a fight. Right. So we're gonna stay amateur and get 3 or 4 wins this year, and sit down with my coach and see what's next.
Sounds great. Best of skill to you on Friday, my man.
Thank you,
Patrick.
Hey, Biaggio, this is Patrick from Combat Sports. Okay, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Your opponent in Isaiah Figueroa, there's not much tape on him. He's only got 2 fights. How do you prepare for someone like that? And are you a big film watcher?
I am a big film watcher. I like to watch tactics. I like to look at reasons, habits, all types of stuff when I'm, about to fight my opponent. Obviously, there's not that much film on him. I haven't got to see that much of him, but I know he's 1-1. I know he did a kickboxing fight before his first MMA fight. I think he lost his first MMA fight, just like me. Came back his second fight and won. So he's 1-1. Had a kickboxing fight before. I know he wrestled in high school a little bit. Did a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments. That's all I really know about him. But I just know he's not on my level. He's not training with the guys that I train with. He's not as fast and explosive as I am. So I do know he's going to bring it. I'm expecting everybody that I fight to bring it because they're fighting Muhammad Ali's grandson. So, I expect them to perform their best. But still, I'm going to come up on top.
So you mentioned training partners, and you train at Extreme Couture. Can you give us who your training partners are in that amazing gym? And, there's so many guys in that gym who are on the top tier.
Oh, there's a ton, Maz Burnell is one of my main training partners. He fights in Bellator. Jeremy Kennedy, he also fights in Bellator. He's ranked. I think he's fighting for the belt soon. I have another amateur that I train with a lot. His name's Blake Monty. The dude's a savage. You know, he's going to be really good. Julian Erosa, he's in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for a long time. You know, Kai Kamaka, he's also in Bellator. You know, these are some of the main people that I'll get sparring rounds with. Nicholas Mota, he's in the UFC. Yeah, there's just a bunch of guys that I work with that are very, very high level. And not only do we train together, but, you know, when they see me make certain mistakes, you know, they'll try to correct that mistake. They'll tell me what I'm doing wrong and what I got to do to fix that. And that's how you know you have good training partners. You know, they're not just training with you, but they're also helping you.
That sounds great, man. And one last question from me. You know, your PFL debut, I don't think you could have written it any better. Do you feel any more nerves or less nerves going into the second PFL fight?
My last fight, I was pretty nervous because I haven't fought on that kind of stage before, but now I have. You know, now I know what it's like to be in the smart cage, to fight on ESPN, to fight in front of a big audience, to open the card for a world championship fight. So I know what that feels like now. When I was at the event last week, I kept thinking to myself, oh, like I feel almost used to this now. Like now I'm really used to it. Now I'm really excited to fight. So I would find myself a lot more excited for this fight overall. But of course, every fighter is going to be nervous before a fight. If a fighter's telling you that they're not nervous, then I think they're lying.
Good luck on Saturday night, my man.
Thank you.
Curtis Calhoun.
Hey, Biaggio, this is Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News. Good to talk to you again, man. First question for me. Has the PFL spoken to you about the path to turning pro, or give us kind of an idea as to what that transition would look like and when it could happen?
I'm not really sure. You know, the PFL is a great organization. You know, when I told them, you know, I'm going to wait to see if I'm ready to turn pro with my coach, you know, they were all okay with that. And I'm very grateful to be signed with an organization that is okay with my journey and the steps that I need to take, that I feel I need to take in my journey. Yeah, this year I plan on getting 3 or 4 fights and then sitting down with my coach and seeing what's next, you know, and the PFL is 100% okay with that. And I'm just super grateful that they are, because I'm not here to try to rush. You know, I'm here to get experience and to be ready to go pro and be really good. So, yeah.
What are some of the biggest things you've learned about yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, since you made that full-time move to MMA from football?
I just felt myself in a better mental state. You know, I feel my confidence got a lot better. I feel better physically. You know, I'm not doing what I used to do before I got into MMA. You know, I was lost at some point after football. So, you know, it really dedicating myself to the sport has really helped me emotionally, physically, spiritually. I feel closer to God. You know, I feel just overall better as a person. So, and as a fighter. So, I'm just really grateful.
Last question for me. I feel like whenever we do these media calls or whenever you do an interview, there's that tag of, you know, Muhammad Ali's grandson, right? So how important is it for you to create your own legacy in the sport and not just being known as Muhammad Ali's grandson?
Yeah. I think it's very important. You know, every fighter wants to create their own name and make their own legacy. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. But overall, you know, in the bigger picture, that I don't really care. You know, if you call me Muhammad Ali's grandson and I'm a world champion and I'm out there helping people, I don't care what you label me as. You know, the big picture for me is being able to use MMA as a platform to help people, change people's lives, preach martial arts to those who are sad, depressed, who are getting bullied at school, and those who feel like they need it in order to build their confidence. And I think it would build people's confidence. So you can label me as whatever you want. I don't really care as long as I'm helping people. That's the only thing I care about.
Appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Biaggio, it's good to talk to you, my man. You've picked up 2 straight wins on the amateur circuit, and both have been by first round stoppage. I know you'll always take a win, but is there any part of you that really wants to be in that 3-round grueling fight? Is there anything appealing about that to you from a competitive standpoint?
100%. I do want to eventually, it could be this fight. I'm just ready to go to war. I have a theory in my head that the best fighters are the ones that could take the most damage and keep going. If you're beating the crap out of somebody and the guy's all bloodied up and he's still walking you down and walking towards you, that's a scary dude to beat. And you're going to think to yourself, how do I beat this guy? So that's the fighter I want to be, and a lot of that comes with grueling 3-round fights, 5-round fights, or 3 5-minute round fights, So that's, as a fighter, that's what I want to be. I want to be that grueling fighter that's not going to go down. You're going to have to kill me in there.
And just like trying to pick your brain as being, pretty fresh into the MMA scene in terms of competing, more on that point, is there any part of you that maybe would feel like you're really not a fighter until you've had that type of fight, whether it's pro or an amateur?
Yeah, I actually do agree with that. It kind of makes me, I'm a little insecure about it that I haven't gone into a 3-round war yet. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get into a 3-round war, test myself, test my limits, and see what I can do when crap hits the fan. So I 100% agree with you. I do feel like once I get into a war like that, like I really am a fighter. I am obviously a fighter, but I do want to see what it's like to go into a grueling 3-round war.
Spoken like a true warrior, man. Appreciate the time. Thank you, and can't wait for Friday.
Thank you.
Cassandra?
Hi there. A couple of questions. Want to start with the fact that you actually get to work at home. And how do you feel that having kind of the distractions of preparing at home is part of your development?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah. How important is it for you to be able to handle the distractions of having to work from your home base? How important is that in terms of being in your development as a professional?
I think it's very important. Obviously you don't want to have those distractions, but the people I surround myself with, my family, my teammates, these are the only people that I'm really surrounding myself with leading up to a fight. That's here in Vegas, technically at home. So I do think that it's important to cut out the distractions, but I don't really have that many distractions right now. I'm only surrounding myself with my loved ones, the people that love and support me. And come the night before fight night, I'm going to be off social media. I don't really care about social media. I'm just ready to fight.
You have kind of emerged as an athlete in Las Vegas most of your life. How have you seen Las Vegas kind of like emerge as a real sports town?
Yeah, it's grown a lot, and it's nice to see my city, the city that I grew up in, start to gain all this traction in sports. Obviously the Vegas Knights have been doing their thing, and their first year, I think they almost went to the Stanley Cup or something like that. But I hear there's a baseball team that's going to come here. Hopefully we get like an NBA team. Obviously we have the Raiders now, so it's really beautiful to see. Vegas, my hometown, the city that I grew up in, turn into a sports city. Because I remember when I was a kid growing up here, I always wanted an NFL team. Now we got one. Now we got, before the Knights, we had the Wranglers, and I would go to the Wranglers hockey games. But now we have the Knights. So it's dope to see Vegas turn into a sports town now.
Final question for me, even though you're still fairly young in your career, what parts of kind of your abilities have we not seen yet that you're looking forward to showing off come Friday night?
Oh, my wrestling and grappling and jiu-jitsu. People haven't seen that yet. So, and it's kind of cool too, because it's almost deceptive. Every fighter that's going to fight me is going to think I'm just a striker or a boxer, but they don't see the work that I'm putting into my wrestling and my grappling. So, they might be a little surprised when they fight me, take me down, or get me down on the ground and I know what I'm doing and I get up or submit them, they're going to think, oh, he knows how to, he can grapple too. What? And it's not going to be even a surprise to me because this is what I do every day. My last 2 camps, I've only been grappling really. I've only striked a couple days through the week. I only do striking maybe once or twice a week. And I do that separately and then I'll spar. Most of the time, most of my last 2 camps, I've been grappling. So yeah, definitely the wrestling and the grappling. That'd be nice. Even to win this fight by submission, that would be pretty sick.
Thanks, Biaggio. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Eddie.
Hey, this is Eddie Law for K-Side Press. Quick question for you. I saw on your Instagram that you actually got or received a certificate of appreciation from Las Vegas Metro PD for saving a young lady from a dangerous situation. Can you go through exactly what happened?
Yeah, that was I think it was November 13th. That was before my PFL debut in New York. I was just working, I worked part-time security at one of the nightclubs out here, the Omnia nightclub. And there was a table in front of us. And I always usually watch who's at the table. So I know, who's going in, who's going out, who's not, who doesn't belong there, who does. So I saw this girl, she came there, she was sober, acting normal. And within 5 to 10 minutes, she was blacked out drunk. And that's pretty unrealistic. So it looked very suspicious. The guy was trying to walk her out and leave with her. And it didn't look right. It didn't feel right. I didn't see this guy at the table with the girls. So it just looked very fishy. So I stopped them. I brought in another security guard and I had them separated. And the girl's friend was actually looking for the girl that the guy was trying to walk out. And I asked her friend, I said, do you know this guy? She said, no, I've never met him. So I'm like, okay, there's red flag number 1. And I'd asked the guy, I said, how do you know this girl? Like, do you know her? And he said, oh, I know her like a sister. I've known her growing up, this and that. And I looked at him and I said, you're lying to me because, her friend told me the opposite. So then he got mad and started cussing me out. And I said, wait right here. So we separated the parties and we basically just kicked the guy out. And then he got we kicked him out for trespassing. And I actually didn't know until the day I got the certificate that he actually had the girl's phone. So who knows what could have happened, I was just doing my job. I definitely assumed that he spiked her drink or something like that because nobody acts like that 5 minutes after drinking. So, yeah, they awarded me and yeah, that's pretty much what went down.
Hey man, good on you, man. Appreciate you. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Jake.
Hey, Biaggio. Jake Noack from the Scrap News here. Just wondering, you said you're at Extreme Couture, great gym. Who's going to be in your corner for this one?
I have my head coach, Dennis Davis. He's pretty much the head coach of Extreme Couture. And I have my striking coach, James Gifford.
And what kind of energy are those guys going to bring to your corner? What do you like from them? Why those two?
Oh, man. Well, James Gifford he's been a striking coach in MMA for a very long time. He worked with Frank Mir. He's worked with Misha Tate, Conor McGregor, just a bunch of guys and girls. And Dennis Davis he's the head coach of Extreme Couture. He's coached God knows how many names, he's been in the fight game for a long time. He fought a lot of great guys like Nick Diaz and stuff, Clay Guda. These two guys, they're family to me. James Gifford was my brother's boxing coach before he switched coaches, and he was his coach in the amateur scene. And a lot of what my brothers learned is from James Gifford. These two guys, they keep me very calm. Dennis, he keeps me very calm and making it seem like, going into a fight is like taking a walk into the park. It's no big deal. I go to the grocery store and look at some person. They don't care if I win or lose. They don't care about my fight. So Dennis he likes to keep me very calm and give me in the mindset that going into a fight is like going to cook some food. So same thing with, James Gifford. I call him Giff. He keeps me very calm. He lets me know that I'm the dominant one. I'm gonna be the leader of this dance on Friday. So I'm very grateful and blessed, beyond blessed, to have both of them in my corner, because I told them my perfect corner would be James and Dennis.
And it's a big dance, dude. Co-main event slot of the prelim card as an amateur. Like, what is that? Obviously, Ali's your grandfather. You got that hype, but just yourself getting that slot so early on in your career. What does that mean to you?
It's amazing. It means a lot to me. I do know that because of who I'm related to, there was an inch of me that was almost not surprised, especially, I believe I was blessed with a great athletic ability, speed, confidence, explosiveness, fight IQ. I believe these are things that I was blessed with, by God. So to see that recognized and to see the PFL start to recognize the potential that they see in me and be able to develop me as an amateur and then going into pro it's just, I'm over the world with gratitude. And I'm very excited for this journey. I know it's going to be a great journey. It's not always going to be uphill. There's going to be bumps and bruises in the road, but I'm here for it all. I only have one life, so why not just go all the way?
Awesome, man. Thanks so much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Ali, last question for us.
Hi, Biaggio. I'm Elle, Fight Bananas. Question for you about your grandfather. He was known as the king of trash talk. He had all these creative, super iconic lines. And I just want to know, what's your approach to the mental warfare in our sport? And how do you like to approach your opponents before the fight?
I like to approach in a respectful way. Obviously my grandfather, he did all the trash talking. So all his trash talk, all the greatness that he did allowed for me to even have a platform. So he did all the work. I don't need to sit here and trash talk to get in my opponent's head. I ooze confidence. I believe that my opponent will feel that. Just by the way, I talk to him and with my words and you have to know in this sport, and I know that I'm going to win. So that kind of confidence, I think has a lot to do with mental warfare. You don't have to grab the mic and stand and jump around and say all these crazy things and try to act like you're trash talking. My kind of trash talk is kind of like passive, it's just pure confidence.
I love that. That's awesome. You were speaking on your fight IQ earlier as well. I absolutely think that's a huge difference maker in our sport. Do you feel like that's something that you just inherently have, or is that something that you got to develop on later on in life, just being within the sport and being part of your family?
I think what was inherited was the will to learn. I don't think it's just fight IQ. I think it was the will to get better. After practice, I do homework. There's fighters that I watch where I take notes. I try to take their habits, tactics, things that they look at, and then I try to mold it into my own. You can't watch Max Holloway and 100% replicate his fighting, but you can take certain habits and tactics that he does and apply it to yourself and mix it your own way. That's the beauty of mixed martial arts. It's mixed martial arts, so it's an art. If you're a painter and you're looking at Picasso, you can't completely replicate Picasso, but you can take certain techniques that he does in order to mold it into your own painting and make it your own. So that's the beauty of mixed martial arts. What I do, I take advantage of that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to watching you develop in the sport.
Thank you.
Thanks, Biaggio. You're all set for this. Guys, we'll be bringing Elena up shortly.